Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. Today we are talking about yet another western winter storm. This is Winter Storm Elmer. Let's get right on into it. So we do not have a full article by the Weather Channel. We have yet another video, which I will not show you because of copyright. So we do have a headline though. West hit by Winter Storm Elmer and cold. We're not going to be getting into the cold today. It's just because the jet stream is dipping in the west. There's a trough there. That's pretty simple. So let's move on here to our current watches, warnings, and advisories. So these are for Delphine. So we're looking at the west. So currently we have winter storm warnings in Washington, Oregon, California, as well as Idaho and Colorado. We have winter weather advisories in Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, as well as Wyoming barely. So let's just move on here to the NAM 12-kilometer model. And I do have this storm right here. So here's the low pressure that we're going to be tracking. You can see that already cold air in place. There are all these blue lines in the west stretching down to California. That's basically your cold that's set in place, and that's why many areas in the lower elevations, such as Portland and areas near Seattle, are going to be getting snowfall. And that is why the Portland area has been under a winter storm warning. So, as the low pressure continues to slide into the region, you'll see this area of moisture continue to push further and further south. We also have some moisture down here that will be moving to the east. So this low pressure continues to move to the south, and now we've shifted from initially a Cascade storm to more of a Sierra Nevada storm. As this low pressure is now moving inland, all of that moisture is getting trapped into the mountains of the Sierra Nevadas and eventually into the Rockies. So this is all going to be happening Monday through Tuesday. This slide down the west coast as this low pressure continues to move inland, and we continue on from here. So this is late Monday into Tuesday. The storm is now producing light to moderate snow in the Rocky Mountains. Now, the low pressure is in the perfect place to start drawing up some Gulf moisture. So as it does so, we can see that there's some moisture developing here in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri. And as the storm continues to move into the plains, we can see that the storm does get a little bit stronger as it does move, or more developed, let's say, into the plains, and the same areas that were hit by Delphine will be getting hit again. So North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, as well as even Iowa, Illinois, getting hit by snow and freezing rain. Then as the storm continues to progress, we see some more snow in Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and as this low pressure kind of weakens at this point, we'll see this again get divided into two different sections: a rainy section that's going to be moving into the northeast, and the snowy section which moves into Canada. And then of course there's some more moisture behind that, but that is not part of this system. So let's take a look at our definite snow totals for the west coast. So areas such as the Cascades could be seeing close to a foot to 2 feet of snow in some spots, as well as some of the lower lying areas such as Portland could see 2 inches of snow. Areas around Seattle could see 1 inch of snow. The coastlines could see a half a foot of snow plus in some areas. Then you move into the Sierra Nevadas, where another 2 to 4 feet of snow could be falling in some spots, maybe even more. You can see 53 inches. That's right around 4.5 feet of snow. So much more snow in the Sierra Nevadas, and this snowpack has been increasing greatly over the last, let's call it 3 weeks. So that is definitely a good situation for the drought in California, along with the fact that the coastline itself is getting plenty of rainfall. We do have plenty of snowpack in the Sierra Nevadas as well. So moving into the Rockies, you can see parts of Idaho could be seeing over a foot of snow. Parts of western Wyoming could also see over a foot. Nevada, you could see some areas over a foot, but a widespread 1 to 6 inches. Utah, the upper elevations could see a widespread 6 to 12, with some spots getting closer to 2 feet. Colorado, in the upper elevations, you could see up to 2 feet plus of snow. And in Arizona and New Mexico, the upper elevations will be seeing close to 6 inches, maybe even more in some spots, but nowhere in the lower elevations, obviously. So, next, since we do have Delphine that has not happened yet, we're going to be taking Elmer in a different route for the plains instead of an actual snowfall total. We're just going to look at snow amounts within a 24-hour period. So, within the 24 hours, let's see, 24-hour accumulated snowfall. So, within the next day to 2 days, you have all that snowfall. This is all of the western snow is within the next day, so within the next 24 hours, but now we are looking for the next 24 to 48 hours, which is mostly your rocky snow, but also some snowfall in North Dakota, South Dakota, and parts of Minnesota, Iowa, and Illinois. Most of the snowfall will be falling in North and South Dakota, where you could see 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. Then you move on. This is, let's actually do, 54. So this is the next 30 to 54 hours. And you can see more snowfall. That same snowfall, in fact, is in the Dakotas. But you can see here that we have some more snow building in parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin, including the Minneapolis area. Could see over 6 inches of snow, as well as snow developing in Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. So now this is 60 hours and the 24 hours beforehand. So this is 36 to 60 hours. And you can see that we have that snowpack building in Minnesota, Wisconsin, UP and Michigan, as well as northern Michigan, but not much in the southern areas as the storm is starting to move to the north. And we move on to 66 hours. So at this point, we are at 42 to 66 hours. And you can see that most of the snowfall is building here is more into Canada at this point. So that is where we end off before we get our next system. Finally, we do not have a 24-hour freezing rain, so I'm just going to take you through the extra. So all of this here, this is from Delphine, but as we move into, this is Tuesday, we start to see some freezing rain build in areas of Iowa, so 1/10 of an inch in parts of western Iowa, and we can see here that even 1/4 of an inch of ice in spots. That was not there previously. This area right in here, that's over 1/4 of an inch of ice. And that's really most of the icing that we're going to see. Maybe some icing in Michigan as well, but really not much outside of Iowa. Iowa will be seeing most of the icing, and then maybe some minor icing in parts of the Northeast as well with this storm system. But most of the icing will be occurring in Iowa as that cold air clashes with the warm, moist air of the Gulf of Mexico, getting drawn up into the system with the cold air from Canada. They clash together, and that's what we get, that freezing rain. But overall, mainly a western storm. Elmer is going to be producing plenty of snow, as well as the aforementioned cold. There's already cold air in place with that trough in the west. But as this storm moves into the northern plains, we could see a decent amount of snowfall and some freezing rain as well. So that is all the information that I have on this storm. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell. That's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.